Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplified Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplified Development Services.
Nope, not going in. Not gonna drown today.
Fixing your credit score can be scary, but with Credit Versio, we take the fear out of it.
Okay, you can do this. Be brave. Don't cry again. Hey, this isn't too bad.
Credit Versio helps dispute negative marks on your credit using our state-of-the-art technology that guides you every step of the way. It's never been easier to fix your credit and increase your credit score. Seriously, you can do this. Visit creditversio.com right now to get started.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
HBCU, League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU, League Pass. It's game time, I'm proud and I love my HBCU. HBCU, League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to Random Thoughts with DVP. It's your host DVP. I got my man Mo here early, so we're gonna start some trouble and keep it moving. Today is the 16th of November, 2022. Another great day in the neighborhood. I would be remiss if I didn't start off the show with giving a big shout out to one of my closest friends, MC, who died Monday, and it kind of put me on a funk. But you know, as they say, the show must go on. So I definitely wanted to have Mo here just in case I faltered. It ain't many people. Anybody who knows me know I don't get out a whole lot, but MC was that dude. MC was that dude. We were so different and so much alike. And whoo, when I got the word, you know, I thought it was one of them crazy pranks. I got a text and I got a couple of phone calls. And I went straight down here from there. What's up, Ari? So you know, I'm trying to keep my head above water, trying to keep the show going on. I done cried a bunch of tears and felt sorry for myself, and I'll probably do that by 8:05 or 7:35 if I end the show early. So, you know, I reached out to my cyber brother Mo, and as always, he stepped in, so he gonna join me today just in case there's some onions in my desk or something. But I want to start off with I just wanted to get that out the way. I want to start off with something I had said earlier, just my little quick monologue. I have never, and I will never like 45. But being an honest person and understanding the ability to do critical thinking and all that, I would be remiss if I didn't say that I think personally he did more for Black people in politics than Obama did. When Obama won, a bunch of Black people were happy. And I know some of y'all confused on the word. What's up, Darren? What's up, Crystal? Y'all confused on the word racist because y'all, at one point, we got power, at one point we don't, but I'm not even finna get into that whole thing. But a lot of people voted for Obama strictly because he was Black. They didn't know what he stood for. They didn't get into politics. When 45 was in office, he made us become more aware of politics. He made us become more aware of how the system worked. And, you know, me and Roy, my super producer, we were talking about something before the show. Now that he's announced that he's running again, 45 might be a great thing for America. He may be the single reason that Republicans and Democrats have to come together just to defeat him and his group of people. You can't overlook the negative impact that brought about positivity, because he made us look at things differently. He gave racism a lot of faces. We saw it in a lot of different places, things that we casually ignored that have been around for so long. He made them feel comfortable with being racist. We always knew they were around, but none of them were comfortable enough just to step up and be outwardly racist and post up. He galvanized us and made us stand up against them. He galvanized a whole group of people when we love to say that, oh, all white people stick together, or whatever craziness that you're saying. Even the white people didn't like him and they wanted him gone. And with him coming back, we're gonna see what effect he has. And you know, because I gotta give a man credit. A lot of people who never knew politics start paying attention after his 4 years. And we all know that politicians lie. He just made it his daily cause. So I just wanted to get that out there because one of the first things we're going to talk about is polls. And polls as they relate to the election. But before I get into that, I want to make sure I welcome my man Mo to the show because he gonna be the backbone today, just in case I backslide.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, people? And y'all heard what DVP said, man. I got my own take on something like that. But what I'll just say about that, I ain't gonna say too much about it, is just say that, you know, Trump was a flag that was flying and on that flag it said, this broken system needs fixing. He was the one that made them really have to stand up and look at it. And you could see it. Nobody was that brazen. Nobody put it out front. You know, they all do underhand stuff, right? But he came out and he said stuff. You know, he said stuff that, you know, made white folks who follow him cringe, you know? So you know what that's all about.
And you know, like I said, he brought about an awareness that everybody else tiptoed around. You can't deny that. Yeah, and you got to give him credit. You gotta give him credit. I think black people got comfortable with Obama, and a lot of the racist people got comfortable with Trump. But he made us become more. We voted more when for Trump's second term. We voted more. We voted more. We voted more against him than we did for Obama. We came out because people became more aware. And I know part of it is with the booming numbers and people who became eligible to vote, but he made us start paying attention. So yeah, Mo, come on, yeah, you know that, even though it says Random Thoughts with DVP, I've been thinking about renaming this to the Me and Mo Show. But yeah, if you got, hey man, if you got a thought, go on and share it, brother. Go on and share it.
Oh man, I was just thinking about that. Think about what you were saying, and Trump, and there was a lot of things that he did bring to the table. Like I could tell you this right now. So look, I was in corporate for a long time. I worked in corporate for a long time, and the one thing I'll tell you is that if I ever tried to get away with any of the stuff that Trump tried to do, that Trump did, man, I would have been fired. I'd have been on the street living in a tent. Okay, so there's some inequality there, because I don't think a black politician could come in and do those things and survive. This guy is talking about running a second term, and it's probably going to happen. And he's about to go on trial. Unbelievable.
And it just shows you something about him. Because I mean, how many political figures would tell us, hey, I could murder somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. And to me, that was the funny thing, is that he would say the crazy stuff, and people would sit there and try, he was just making an analogy. No, he wasn't making. He was saying that's how brainwashed he got y'all. And to me, that's all I got it as. That you can watch me do something, I can tell you it's fake news or alternative facts, was his phrase, and people will still support it. And I was just like, wow. And I sat back and I watched the thing last night, and I was telling my wife, I can't wait to watch the CNN fact checkers, because I know everybody, CNN is. If you watch the CNN fact checker, because I like the fact checker, they go in on everybody. Biden, Obama, they don't care who it is. That fact checker come and he coming with real stuff based on what they said. It ain't no hate, it ain't no nothing. All he doing is comparing what they said, and I love when they say, well, this is not true. It's just misleading. You got to give it context. They do that for everybody. So I'm not a big CNN fan, but I do like the fact checker segment. And when it came out, when I got up this morning, first thing I was looking at, CNN fact checking all the things he was saying. And it's like you got to do it, as opposed to following these crazy memes or following your favorite woke person or conscious person or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't think anybody could disagree that in his time as president, he did some good things. The person was never presidential. But like I always say, the corner store drunk has said lots of great things. We're not following his advice though. But if you stand there with that drunk, they're gonna say some truly deep shit. Kind of like kids say sometimes. Kids say the deepest shit, but you're not finna let them make decisions for you. You're not. But we've been all awed by kids sometimes, and the shit that just come out their mouth. It's like, damn, why not think of that? But hey, it is what it is. And Antoinette says, oh my God, only a white man facing insurance fraud charges, misappropriation of clatter, funds, rape, and assault. But is it, Antoinette? Here we got Herschel Walker, who has lied about being a cop, had restraining orders, threatened to kill his baby mama, won't claim his kids, and he neck and neck with Warnock. So we can't even make it be a black and white issue. It's a Retrumplicant issue. And I separate Republicans from Retrumplicans because there are some good Republicans. And you'll see them, they're not following the Trump mentality. Even with, what's her name, Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney voted with Trump and his policies over 90% of the time. She was truly into his policy. But when it came to the person, she didn't care for him. Liz Cheney voted with Trump more than Marjorie Taylor Greene did. Go figure. But she understood that he was going to be the death of the party. And you saw a lot of people getting rid of him. And without drifting too much, that's one of the things that if I'm being totally honest, I wish Black people would do. When we see somebody who is bringing us down, let them go. Stop trying to get them excuses for hanging on, because that's what we've done with some predatory Black people. That's what we've done with Black people who didn't have our best interest. They might have said some good stuff. See Kanye, Kyrie, or Kaepernick, but they're not doing it for us. They're doing it for them. And at some point, you got to let people go. Let them do their thing over there. You ain't got to support them just because they look like you or because they said one or two something good. What's the phrase, Mo? It ain't what you say, it's what you do.
Exactly. And blood is thicker than water.
So I hear what people are saying. Show me what they did. Show me what they are doing to make us better. Then I will slow my assault down. I will slow my confrontational nature down. But just because they said something, oh man, they was keeping it real. Yeah, whatever. So, with that, I want to go into a polls, because by all metrics, by all the people who take polls, there was supposed to be a red wave. And, and I tell people all the time, because I've done this several times, but most of the people who I know have never taken a poll. They ain't never been part of the people who gave TV shows. Ain't nobody never called and asked them, say, hey, I'm taking a poll. So who are these people? Who are these people polling? The people that they polling. And when somebody polls you, it's kind of like when Obama won. Obama won easily. But based on what we saw, it seemed like most white people hated him. And some of them had to hate him publicly. But when they went and closed that curtain, they voted for him. It wasn't a close vote. It wasn't a close vote. Not now time. As much as they hated him, because Mo Roy, y'all older than me, they hated him the first time he won, and damn thing win re-election. So how did he get so much hate and win re-election again by another large margin? If all the white people hated him, they said what they had to in front of their friends. They might even say what they had to if a pollster called them, because they don't know who this pollster is. But when them curtains close, they picked a different option. So let's not get caught up in the polls. Let's not think the polls are the end all to be all, especially if you've never been in one. Because to date, I still don't know about who's taking a national poll. Mo, have you ever been called to ask your views on any of these polls?
Not once.
Antoinette, Ari, anybody? Roy, have you ever? Robert, have y'all? Darren, Crystal, have y'all ever been? Y'all ever remember being part of a poll?
I've actually been a part of a whole bunch of them, and I actually used to have a research and development company where we went out and polled people. That's one of the reasons. I don't know, D, if you remember when we talked about polls years ago. I've always told people you can make a poll say whatever you want to. That's the problem with polls. They're really not all accurate or legitimate, because they can be manipulated just by whoever your service population is.
And yeah, I do remember, and that's a good thing, because when you do the poll, it's who are you asking? Because if I want certain answers, I'm only gonna ask a certain group.
Like you're gonna get two totally different answers if you go ask people. If you say, how did Keisha Lance Bottoms do as mayor? You're gonna get a whole different set of answers on the South, on the SWATs in Atlanta, than you will going to Buckhead.
Right. And remember, we've talked about this. Numbers lie, because if you don't know how to read numbers, you can make them say whatever you want to, because you can ask 1,000 people, but where are these 1,000 from? And 1,000 people don't make up the million people in Atlanta. So I asked 1,000 people, and all of them said this. Okay, well, who are these 1,000 again? It's kind of like when you talk about marriage, and people talk about, why get married, yada, yada, yada. Well, who are you asking when you talk about marriage? Are you talking to married people? Are you talking to single people? Or are you talking to people that don't nobody want? Because those three categories matter. Because when you're going to take a poll on marriage, in my mind, you need to talk to married people. Just pick married people and ask them about marriage. How can a single man tell you about marriage? Especially if he's not even, at least if he's divorced, he can have some say so. But if he ain't never been married, how can he tell you any of the great points of marriage or the worst points of marriage? Oh, because my friend said this. See, your friend. And we all know we got friends who go along to get along. So they'll say whatever they think we need to say. So when these polls come out, you know, I see people already talking about, oh, yeah, see what's going to happen. Y'all finna get 4 more years of Trump. How did you get there yet? Trump ain't even won the primary. So Trump ain't even the candidate yet. Trump still got to be other Republicans. So how did we get to what's going to happen in 2024? Hell, Biden ain't won a nomination yet. I mean, typically the president gets a ride in, but hell, typically in our generation, once somebody loses an election, they don't come. Once somebody wins and loses, they don't come back a third time. This ain't the Grover Cleveland era. Most of us don't even remember Grover Cleveland, and we wouldn't have passed that on the test if somebody asked us which president he was, because most of us don't know. So there are lots of things that are different, and we got a lot of crazy issues. You've never. Oh, look at. Okay, Ari says she's never been politically polled, but she is a Nelson household. And see, I never been part of the Nelson household. I didn't even know. I had to look it up one day where they give you the little thing and monitor what you're watching or something to that effect. Because from what I heard, you can't even change channels once you start watching something. You got to watch for 10 minutes or something like that. But, you know, again, numbers will lie if you don't know how to read them. And they have always lied if you don't know how to read them. Georgia has lots of voter suppression. I don't think so. I think that's a myth that we like to keep perpetuating. To me, it's kind of like saying, stop the steal. Well, if we were going to finagle the machines, how do some of these other people win? If we're going to cheat, why wouldn't we, let's just say Democrats, if Democrats going to cheat, why wouldn't they make sure all the Democrats won? Why would they just cheat for one candidate? Why not cheat for 3 or 4 candidates? Why not cheat so we can get, take over the Senate and the House? So I don't understand partial cheating. Mo, you play sports, right?
Yeah,
if you're going to cheat, then you just cheat half the game and, you know, if you're going to cheat, cheat.
Cheat to win. Cheat to win.
What's the, you know, man? And with the voter suppression, I think it's highly overrated because both sides have been tasked with bringing their cases. Most of the cases that have been founded were Republican cases. Herschel Walker, I'm talking to you. It's going to always be a few votes here, a few votes there that got miscast or whatever. But, you know, I think they try to make it a little bit harder. If you toss ballots because of signatures, that is it. I mean, if there's a system of checks and balances, because again, if we're going to do absentee voting, if we're going to do it, don't we have to have some way of check? We can't just take the ballot as it is. If Mo says if Mo signed for an absentee ballot, and Lord knows we know people steal mail. It's a big thing. Mail trucks steal mail. People from the post office steal mail. So if somebody steals his ballot and vote for him, how do they verify whether it's Mo voting or not? I mean, there has to be a system of checks and balances somewhere. And if all we got is signatures, because they're supposed to do something else if the signatures don't match. Again, there's a system of checks and balances where they reach out to you, because most of us don't have a signature that matches all the time. But because I've worked with some fraud cases, there are certain things they look for in your signature. How you make this, how you make that. But most of us, you know, we got that quick signature, then we got that business signature, then we got that signature where we take our time depending on what it is. You know, some of y'all still think y'all doctors. So I don't think it's as big as people claim it is. It's one of them things where we like to say it. But if this voter suppression, what are we suppressing? Even with Kemp and Stacey Abrams, Kemp won by quite a bit. He won by quite a bit. But I blame that on Stacey, not voter suppression. Stacey just did a crappy job of doing some of her campaigning. So, but yeah, when the polls come up, no matter what the poll is, you know, you do polls on this, and you know, these guys love to create their own polls on what a real man wants, and they love to tell a woman why she ain't gonna get a man because she does this, this, and that. And who are you speaking for? What poll did you take? Me, Mo, and Roy, I guarantee you, if you gave us a list about what we want in a woman, I bet they would be, other than her living, let's see, I'm gonna say this for the three of us, and I ain't even asked them yet. Living, subliminally, we want her to have been born a woman, and from there on, everything else is personal to us. You know, does she have to be a great cook? Does she have to be God-fearing? Does she have to do this? Does she have to do that? Because then you get into personality. There is no perfect woman for every man. So if there is no perfect woman, how can one man tell a woman what she's got to do to get a man? Mo can say what a woman has to do to get his attention. DVP can say what a woman has to do to get his attention. Roy can say what a woman has to do to get his attention. But Roy can't tell a woman, unless we've had a deep conversation, how to get my attention. Oh, you know, they gonna want you to do this, they gonna want you to do that. Hey, I'm telling you, if you do this, Mo gonna like you, because all men love a woman with a big booty. So if you get a big booty, Mo gonna automatically just leave his wife and come over to you. I mean, and I see this stupidity and arrogance on a regular basis. Men telling women what they should do, women telling men what they should do. And you know, one of the reasons that I liked having Mo on the show is because where we met, there were a few people who kept saying things that I knew weren't true. Oh no, I started off with elections. I'm done with elections. Some men like women who bring drama to the relationship. Some women like men who bring drama. So you can't say, oh, if you bring drama, you ain't gonna never get a man. Yeah, you will. There are men who like that. There are men who like religious women. There are men who don't like religious women. You can't keep saying that this is what a woman has to do, because you're trying to push your standard on somebody else. The reason I like having people on the show who have a differing view is so we can see those in full effect. Because I could get people who will agree with everything I say. And what's the point of the show? I might as well do it by myself. If Antoinette didn't disagree with me, what would be the point? If Roy didn't disagree with me, what would be the point? And it's not to say that either one of us is wrong. It's just to show there are a lot of right answers, a lot of different right answers to the same question. Look at Mo. He ain't got the same facial hair I got. Is that more attractive or less attractive? It all depends on who's buying. So, you know, oh, every woman loved, you know, the whole beard thing took off. So if a guy didn't have a beard, did that make him less attractive? It only made him less attractive if he liked women who like beards. So we can't keep pushing off these standards and polls to try to make us look like we know what we're talking about. And that was why I wanted to talk about polls, because we give them so much credibility. Oh, this is what this says. This is what this says. The polls say this, the polls say that. Mo, you a sports fan?
Oh, yeah.
Football?
Yeah.
Didn't damn near everybody say the Eagles was going to win the next 3 games? It wasn't even up for question, that they was going to end up 11-0? And damn if they ain't lose to the Commanders of all people with a backup quarterback. It just shows what the experts know, because Vegas never loses.
It's true.
Nobody knows. We know everything is different. And I just used NFL in that instance because on any given Sunday, I love that phrase. But in life, any given person can mess up the whole narrative. Any given person. So when we're polling people, even we poll them about what it is a real woman wants or a real man wants. I hate them. I can ask men, what do they prefer? And then I can sit back and say, most men prefer this, but not all men. There's nothing that all men prefer. I can truly be honest and tell you, I know real men who don't prefer natural born women. I know this. It came up one day and a dude said, well, it don't matter to me. Caught me off guard because I would have never thought he would have said that. But he's okay with transgenders. I ain't knocking him. I just never would have thought that would have been something. But now that I'm paying more attention, there's a group that hates them. There's a group that is okay with them. And there's a group who has a fetish with them. Wow, I would have never guessed that. You worked in social science for 15 years? That's what's up. I was a cop for 22. No textbook and walls. What you got, Mo? You look like you got a question there.
No, man, I'm just taking this in, but you know, everybody's got preferences. You know, you can't really speak for someone else. You know, you got to go by, you know, what works for you. You know, because if that was the case, man, I would be able to tell people, listen, man, here's what you're doing wrong in your relationship. Go home and do this, and everything is, you know, be fine and dandy. But we know that's not gonna work. You got to figure that out for yourself.
You know, as I gave away a secret last week, and I can't say that that's 100%. I'll say it's 99. And you know, it's funny because Mo laughed when I said it. But yeah, when you and this is for fellas mostly. Fellas, when your woman get mad at you, and y'all at that point, when you bring food, the temperature come down. That's what most women. I ain't gonna say it with all, but with most women, the temperature come. I don't know if it works that well with us when they bring us food, because I don't know. But you know, like I say, for them, yeah, I've seen it, I've heard about it. That's a great neutralizer. It's a way for men to throw in a white flag or call for a timeout without having to lose their manhood. Because I don't know, these guys seem to be stuck on manhood and what's the word? They think every time they have to negotiate or change their mind, a woman is taken away from their what's the word about
masculinity?
No, what's the word that the guys love to use when women taking away their masculinity?
Oh, I think it's femininity. You talking about?
No, they defeminize them, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Stop the madness. Most of us realize in a relationship, me giving in to my wife does not make me feminine.
It's demasculation or something like that.
Yes, something like that. Yeah, emasculate. There you go. Thank you, Ari.
Emasculate, yeah.
Yeah, but me doing something for the betterment of the team is not emasculation. It's called negotiations. It's called bending. But you know, these new age dudes seem to think everything is emasculating. Look at that. All y'all got that part right. That's the only question everybody getting right. So we agree. Everybody got that one except for me and you, Mo.
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, and like I say, it's part of what we do. And you know, the show is about polls, death, and love. So we're gonna switch and go from this whole polling thing to love. Because Mo gonna come up with the next section. I ain't telling that yet. But when love is involved, theoretically, there's a lot of emasculating going on. I don't know what it is when you take the femininity from a woman, but there's a lot of it because there's a lot of give and take. Mo talked last week about, he blamed me for it. I ain't taking no credit for it. But there are times when you have to let the fairer sex be better at something that may be deemed masculine. You know, Mo say if his wife was a better shooter, something happened, give her the gun. But oh, man's supposed to be the protector, but she's a better shot. So I'm supposed to waste bullets when my wife, who's a great shot, could just get this done in 2 bullets, as opposed to me wasting 15 or 20. You know, we can't get caught up in that. Oh, a man is supposed to protect. And guess what? I know that Mo believes that a man is supposed to be the protector, right?
I do.
That's what we're supposed to do. But again, if your wife is the better shot, you want to hold a gun is stupid. That's not protection. Protection still means making the best decision for you guys' protection. What do you disagree with now? I think you just like disagreeing with me, Antoinette. You just like hearing Roy's voice. If Roy says something, you agree with Roy. Roy can say today is Thursday and it's 5:15, Antoinette, and you're going to put up hearts. If I say it's Wednesday at 6:29, you're going to put, I disagree. You're right, there's no I in team, but as my coach used to say, there's no I in team, but there is a you in unemployed. I used to think that shit was so funny. That was his favorite phrase. But yeah, just because you negotiate, like I said, me and Mo talked about last week, that's not emasculating. That's doing what's best for the team. That's doing what's best for the couple as you're trying to get into this love arrangement with somebody.
And let me just say this, man. You got y'all, man, you know, I think between me and DVP, we've probably been with our ladies probably over 100 years. So let me just
I ain't that old. Hold on, I ain't that old.
No, between
I'm 26.
No, between No, but I just want to say, man, you know, listen, a lot of you young cats coming up or new people in new relationships, you got to understand that women they're durable, man, and they have strength. And if you come in trying to, you know, like emasculate her and, you know, take over, there's a high probability that you're gonna lose that woman. And that's just the way it is, man. That's the way it works, because she got her own mind, she can do her own things. She'd be better off, if she's better off without you, she may go that direction.
And unfortunately, to piggyback on that, we have taught them, we have taught women that they need to learn how to survive without us. See, that, you know, it's cute to try to blame it on their parents. It's cute to try to blame it on the white man. It's cute to try to blame it on the government. But Black men have taught Black women how to survive without us. Because, and it's crazy, I was watching the show today. And remember, we was talking about what changes when all these guys came, oh, she changed, that's why you left your kid behind. And it wasn't intent. But you know what changes? The guy said, she don't want to go out no more. And the lady said, right, because somebody got to take care of the baby. And the guy was like, yeah, but there's no fucking yeah, but. You got this woman pregnant, you want to continue to live that single lifestyle, but she's a mother. We didn't adopt the father role. We still want to be a boyfriend with benefits. She don't get that no more. So we taught them that, hey, we're gonna still do our thing, so you got to figure this out. And now that they did, we get upset. You know, when I ask the question, when men say that women are exhibiting masculine energy, what is she doing? Is she beating you up? Is she jacking you up? What is she doing? You can't say her surviving without you is masculine. But that's what a lot of it is. We still want to live that single life, but she can't no more. She's had this little thing growing inside her for 9 months. And if you talk to women, they start to love this little baby as soon as they realize it's there. They are a unit. She's feeding the baby is surviving because of her. As men, we don't have any of these ties. You know, we may rub the belly, we may talk this and talk that, but we don't feel what she feels. Her priority is going to change. That baby becomes number one. It becomes number one with us when other people talk about it, but we don't want to give up that life. But is her being independent because we left her, is that masculine? Oh, women are always talking about they don't need a man. But when they do need us, then where are we? As Mo said, you know, between us, and I'm gonna throw Roy in this too, but Roy's divorced now. But between us here, we've been married over 100 years. We understand that our priorities have to change. Our priorities have to change as a husband. They have to change even more as a father. So when we want this love thing, we have to understand it's a bigger picture. It's a bigger picture. During marriage, Mo has to realize there's some things that Mo want to do, but Mo, and I ain't never met his wife. I'm gonna meet her one day. I'm gonna go up there just to meet her. That Mo, sometimes we ask our wives something and they say okay, right? But we know they don't mean okay. We know they don't mean it, don't we? But they say it because they don't want to be petty or seem needy. Would you agree with that?
I would.
But when they say no, you realize that even though that you could do whatever it is they say, I'm sorry, when they say yes, even though they said yes, and they said okay, and you can do it and get away with it, you don't really want it now because you don't want to hurt her. Now don't get it twisted. Sometimes we selfish and we miss it, but when we know it's there, we'll change our plans.
When you've been married for a while, that's called discernment. You got to have discernment. You got to know when, you know, you got to have feelings, and you got to know when certain things, what different things mean. You know, sometimes it's a signal. It's not going to be a direct. Yeah.
Because sometimes it's
go ahead. Saying, no, you can't do that. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. So sometimes it's I'm gonna let you decide what you think, and we do the same thing. We'll tell them yes sometimes, even though we don't want them to go. And they're a little bit smarter than us, and they're gonna ask us 2 or 3 times, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And we like, yeah. And they know, because it ain't the energy that we say with. It's like, yeah, it's okay. I'll be all right. As soon as you hear "I'll be all right," you know that means don't do it. I think that's the trigger for when you hear that. I'll be all right.
Oh yeah.
That means, and sometimes it's in a bigger scheme. It's nothing. Sometimes they just need our personal time because they just need you there. They don't really want nothing because it's like, damn, you know, if his wife just need to be held for a couple hours, and them couple hours just happen to be when we want to go bowling, sometimes that couple hours will get him a pass the rest of the year. And it seems like nothing in the big picture, because you'll hear guys who not used to this, who don't have the discernment. Man, she ain't want nothing. She just didn't want me to go out. Wasn't that she didn't want you to go out? She wanted something she just didn't want to have to ask you for. She wanted you to give it freely. And we do the same thing. We want to be giving it freely because we don't, men, Mo, I know you can hear me, Roy. Would y'all agree that sometimes we don't know how to say, can I lay my head on your shoulder for a little while? Baby, can you hug me and just hold me to make me feel a little bit more secure?
We don't want to say that.
We don't want to say it.
Yeah, we don't want to say that. Ain't no sometimes.
Nah, I'm a little different.
But Russ said he's different.
Nah, I'm a little different because I done almost had that nervous breakdown, so I don't even go that place no more. I'm gonna let them know. But the irony of that, even if I were to be even trying to get into a relationship with somebody, that's one of the things that I deal with from the beginning. I tell them immediately. I said, listen, I fight the world all day, every day. I'm like, if you're not willing to be a refuge for me, it ain't even no point of us even moving forward. And I've literally had chicks be like, oh, my man got to be able to handle everything. And I'm like, guess what? You're gonna be alone. He's gonna cheat on you because ain't no man that can handle everything by himself.
Yeah,
not a one.
It's interesting because Roy, you know what you said is key, because if you don't get that support, it's going to come out in a different way anyway, and the relationship not going to work.
And the crazy thing is, as much as I hate to it, this is a man thing. It ain't on the woman, because I will say that, I'm say them guys been married for 100 years. I've been married. I've been married 4 years, but this is my 3rd time, so I'm catching up to them in totality. But a lot of times we don't ask, we want somebody to know, but it's our fault for not knowing how to speak as humans. We always think we got to speak as men, and we think we got to always be sitting there with the cape on. And sometimes, you know, it takes a lot. It takes, what's a good word? Not getting old. It takes becoming more experienced and truly comfortable with yourself as a man to be able to say, baby, I need this right now. Baby, can you do this? Baby, I'm unable to do this right now. We don't want to say that because it's a sign of weakness. And one of the things that we have to understand, that if you think it's a sign of weakness in your relationship, then A, you're not as mature as you think you are, or B, you're with the wrong person. No woman should ever judge you for being needy. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Your woman should never judge you for being needy. That is, as Mo said, that's one of them signs of discernment that maybe y'all don't belong together. Continue to have sex, but call it a friends with benefits and let it go. Right, Antoinette? If you can't be vulnerable with the woman that you're trying to spend a lifetime with, and I'm gonna just make this one of them 99%ers. She's probably not the right woman.
Yeah, man. Let me add to that, because you know, we all go, like, I'm just speaking for, you know, men, young men right now, because I went through that metamorphosis, and I remember something that happened in one of my relationships that I want to just bring to the table here. I mean, where I grew up, man, it was tough. It was difficult. It was very hard place. And I ended up with this mentality that I couldn't be soft, man. I had to be hard all the time.
All the time.
That meant with your woman, it doesn't matter, right? So we walking, me and my lady was walking one day, and she said, why you not holding my hand? I said, because that's going to make me look soft. I can't hold your hand. I'm going to look soft. I got to be hard, you know? And now that we're talking about this here, that was stupid, dumb. You know what I mean? You got to be able to go in and out of different emotional spaces when you got a woman. You know, it's just a certain time for that. And then there's a certain time where you need to be, you know, emotional and you know, have feelings, you know. But a lot of us just grow up where, you know, just don't have no feelings. Then you got your boy whispering in your ear, yo, man, why you soft, man? Why you doing it like that? Stupid.
Yeah. But and that's the immaturity that we don't want to speak of, because, you know, and I had talked about this earlier. I hate when people say somebody's old enough to know better. It has nothing to do with age. It's got to do with experiences. It's got to do with your wealth of knowledge. If that's what you grew up around, those are your only experiences. But if you don't know anything else, you don't know that there's something different. So I hate when people say, "Oh, he old enough, she old enough to know better." Based on what metric? Based on what metric should they know better? If they've come from an abusive relationship, how do they know that when you don't hit them, that's a sign of love? They don't know. They've never seen that. Oh, well, that's crazy. No, it's crazy because you've never done it. And we ain't all come from the same, we don't all have the same experiences. Love is different for everybody. There's some commonalities, but then there are a lot of things that are totally different. What make, I got asked the question, what makes you feel loved? What makes you feel loved? That's a deep question. And when you think about that and you try to figure out the different ways to answer it, what makes you feel loved? I mean, I don't want y'all answers now. What makes you feel loved? I used to do this thing and I got to get back to it, but I used to have a little questionnaire for couples. When Mo got married, and this is why I hate when people say people don't change, because you do. When Mo got married, his wife's favorite flower, has he checked, and I'm using you for real, Mo. Have you checked with your wife to see if that's still her same favorite flower, or have you held on to it that she still like the same flower?
Let me see. Oh, well, there's spaces where, we do certain things, and I knew early on, I checked my wife, say, and you gotta have a catalog. So I cataloged the stuff that she liked.
Right.
And we, I keep that catalog, and, every now and then, if we're going to do something, I pull from that. And then if it changes, I'll know, but I pull from the catalog. I hope I answer your question.
And with that catalog, what we have to do, because this is what I found out just from talking to couples, is that we don't update the catalog. The catalog that we did, when I first met Trina, my favorite food was hamburgers. Don't judge me. After having been with her and having tasted a lot of her different meals, now my favorite meal is her pasta. See, but if she don't update me, she'll, maybe she might make a hamburger, and I'll be like, hey, okay. And she's like, I thought you like hamburgers. I did, but my favorite meal is your pasta. But if we don't check with each other, and in my world, when I was doing my little research, this is something that needs to be done at a minimum annually, but probably every 6 months, because things change. Our favorite colors change, our favorite foods change, a lot of little things, and it's the little things that matter. A lot of little things change. Do we stay up to date? Is our catalog, are we still using the Sears catalog, or have we gone to the internet? and this is one of those things that I found out a lot of people miss out on because they know their partner. But what do we say about us as we continue to have experiences? We evolve. Lots of things change. Do we let our partners know what changed? This is a male thing. See, most of us have a dress that we love to see our wife in. There's that one dress or that one outfit that, make us kick our leg like little horses. Has that outfit stayed the same over the years? That outfit that just make us be like, damn, oh my goodness, we might be late for this event. Or does the outfit change? And there's so many different things that change during the course of a relationship. Do we keep up with them? Or do we get stuck and say, oh, it's this? And I participated in a dating game show, newlywed game show. And I saw a lot of older couples were getting things wrong. And the crazy thing is when they're given an answer, let's just say the wife, they say, what's your favorite flower? And she'll say, well, it's roses now, but he'll probably say lilacs. So if you think that he'll say lilacs, why does he still think it's roses? Because she never told him and he never asked. But there are little subtle changes that sometimes we don't pick up on. And that's part of the process of growing with somebody, is when they change, we notice it. It's funny, we went to an event and the guy was like, yeah, him and his wife been married 26 years. And we was just talking about how women overlook shit because women swear y'all attended. And he was like, man, I shaved. She didn't even notice I shaved. And she looked at him. She's like, damn, you're right. I did notice that you shaved. And I said, man, it ain't got nothing to do with 26 years of marriage. Until I shaved and Trina didn't know I shaved. And Trina looked at me and she was like, damn, you did shave. I was like, but y'all always expect us to do when you got your hair done. And we laughed about it. Because women, if you don't notice she got her hair done, what happened?
Oh man, no man.
You
Ain't no,
gonna
ain't
know
no
you
not
missed it.
noticing. Yeah,
You
ain't no
gonna know
not
you
noticing.
missed it.
Yeah, ain't no not noticing.
And you know, for me, it was a laughing moment, but it was a teachable moment because yeah, when we do a little something different, we want to be noticed too. And it's like, you know, women, y'all swear y'all do the best at paying attention. And it's not a bad thing. It's just one of the things you just got to check with sometimes. You know, you'll notice something. She'll notice if I shave my beard off. She'll notice if I shave all this off. But if I trim it or just get rid of this, it'll take her 2 or 3 days to notice. But as long as this stay, because I've been told if I get rid of this, we're getting a divorce. But, you know, she's like, but how do we keep up? How do we keep the energy going? Well, how do you keep up with knowing the little subtle changes your wife made? Do we have these conversations as we're dealing with continued love?
Yeah, that, and you also gotta be creative too. Because I'm gonna tell you a story, man. This happened to me, and I feel like it was just divine intervention, man, because I came home one day and my lady was cooking and she said, "Hey, I got the meat dish. I'm gonna cook either rice or noodles. Which one you want?" I already knew what she wanted because she, you know, you get to know your partner. I know she wanted rice. I wanted the noodles, man. So I'm like, I'm gonna say noodles, but if I say noodles, all hell gonna break loose, right? Man, it was like the clock just went on fast forward, and I said out of nowhere, man, I just said, "You mind cooking them both?" And she was like, "Okay." I was like, "Oh man."
Yep.
I was like, man, I hit that one out the park, man. But you know, stuff like that, man, you just got to figure this out over time and implement it, you know?
Yeah. And sometimes you'll be surprised by the response. Sometimes they don't mind doing stuff, you know. It's like, you know, it's like, hell, why we got to do just one?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm going here to get me something. She's like, "I really had a taste of it." I'm like, "Okay, so what you got to taste for?" You know, shit, I'm in the car. I can bounce from one spot to the other spot. It ain't like my car will only let me make one stop. And she's like, "Oh, you don't mind going there?" No, what I truly mind is coming home and then you ask me to go back out. But while I'm out, let me get all this shit while I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. You know. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, if you don't, I don't care, shit, you know, I ain't one of them guys, you know, so I got to go 3 more miles. So I'm gonna waste 26 cents more gas. But I'm not gonna call it waste of gas. If you happy, that means I'll be happy. That means it's gonna be a good night." But you know, it's little things like that were sometimes paralysis through analysis.
No doubt.
And we overthink things.
And I'm gonna just tell you, man, this is you know what me and D talking about here is, I call it marriage game. You know, a lot of you single boys, you know, you say you got game, right? You go out to the club, you got game, you can do this and this. But if you get married, or when you get married, you're gonna need marriage game. This is what you need to know.
Yeah, it's a whole different animal from dating a woman for fun and dating with intent. And you know, this is one of the things where me and Roy, we're the same but totally different. Excuse me. Roy would always talk about dating with intent. I always dated for fun and hope it led to intent. But some people, and I don't knock, because you got to do what you do. You got to do whatever works best for you. But I can't have intent with you until you meet certain criteria for me. I need to know this without you being under pressure. I need to see how you respond to certain things while we're having fun. And I believe in giving gradual promotions. I want a stair step. But I know people who, you know, straight out the box, they tell you what they want. To me, that's too much pressure because we don't know if we're friends yet. If you tell me you're looking for something already, you put me through a test. So now I'm thinking of the right answers. I can't be free to be me. That's my perception. I don't knock anybody else's perception.
That right there leads me to just say, you know, only thing people can provide you with is a general blueprint. They can't tell you what you need, what you want, you know, what's going to work for you. They just give you a general blueprint. You take that and use it accordingly.
And the crazy thing is sometimes what we want is person specific. You know, what's my favorite dish? Who's cooking? It matters. If Trina cooking, it's pasta. If it's something my mom is doing, my mom know I love her tuna fish. Don't judge me.
Yeah.
Don't judge me. So who's making it matters? Trina mama make a mean fried rice, better than the Chinese people. Trina can't do it. She's tried. It's okay. It ain't no mama's. It's edible. I like it. It ain't no mama's. So who's cooking? And you know, it's like sometimes we have to understand that we don't know everything, or there's no answer that continues with everybody. You know, well, you talk about this. Mo, again, I've never met Mo in person, but I feel like me and Mo can talk about almost anything. Now, I got some friends I will only talk sports with. I adore my friends. I know what they're good for. I would never talk politics or have serious conversations with them. That's not who they are. That's not what they built for. They tend to shut down at those. Doesn't diminish our friendship. It just means I have to put them in a category. When I'm looking for a woman that I want to be with intentionally for an exponentially long time, I need to be able to go through the whole catalog. As Mo and Antoinette said, with this woman, I want to be vulnerable. If it's just a woman I'm sleeping with, or we chilling, or I don't need to be vulnerable with her. It's not even that big a deal. As Mo said, that's when I'm always be macho man. I ain't got no problems. I can take on the world. But if I'm gonna show you the truest me, for a lot of men, that's something that you have to earn from us. You know, I saw the thing one time that said, you know, if a man is comfortable crying in front of you, understand the promotion that he just gave you. Stop thinking that he's soft, because if you tell him that, you've lost him. And there's a lot of truth to that statement for an intentional man. Some dudes are just soft and they cry all the time. So ladies, don't take every man who crying in front of you as a promotion. But if you don't see this guy showing a wide range of emotions, and all of a sudden you catch him, he might be feeling you a little bit more than he's telling you. And we're learning this whole communicative process, because even during this marriage, I'm learning how to communicate more, because it was something I didn't do in my previous relationships, in my previous marriages. I didn't know it was a thing. And here I am, a grown-ass man. But I didn't know that men could be vulnerable in relationships. I didn't know that a good woman will pick up the slack when you're not there. I had never experienced that. So why would I think it was a norm?
You know what's interesting? Just occurred to me is that vulnerability of men is only shunned upon by other men. Women, I don't recall ever one woman ever telling me shouldn't be vulnerable. That was always my uncle. That was always my brother telling me, you know, tuck that in. Don't cry, be tough, this and that. And then when you do that, now you're going to end up being no good for the right woman. You know what I mean? So there's a penalty you have to pay for doing that.
And question for you. When it was your uncle or somebody else telling you, what was their status?
Oh, they in some cases they did have a woman, but that I saw, if you go out in the future, they ended up losing that woman. So I know I think that's where you was headed, just because, they gave me some bad advice and they implemented that in their own being, and it ended up hurting them as well.
Yeah, because sometimes, we don't understand who we getting information from, because they may be giving us the best information for them in their situation.
Right.
And again, this is what we have to realize, that we're all different. I was talking to a friend and he had a dilemma, and he said, man, I don't know how to tell my wife. And I was like, dude, I thought you said you and your wife was like best friends. He's like, yeah. I said, well, because I'm stupid, what is it that you would never tell your best friend? Other than like explicit sex shit about your wife. I'm thinking, don't your best friend get all the worst? They know all your bad shit. So how could you have something with your best friend that you can't tell your wife, who is your best friend first? Well, man, she might just look at me different. And again, for those of us who have best friends or have had best friends, then we know some worse shit about them, but it didn't matter because we know who they were at heart. So it's like, dude, so really she's not your friend. You just said that, yeah, we really not that cool. Okay, so now that makes a little bit more sense why you don't want to talk to her. You're saying what you want the people to hear. And that's why I'm not a fan of quick marriages. I ain't knocking them, but how do you get a best friend in 6 months? Even if you know this is the woman you want to spend the rest of your life with, has she crossed into that great friend category first? Which is why it took me so long. I needed for my wife to be a great friend this time. None of my previous wives fell into the friendship category because I never knew that they truly had to be a friend. But with a friend, you can say anything. If you only got a great lover, is a conversation is open? Can you say anything to your lover like you could your best friend? And that was an awakening moment for me to start paying attention as to who I was letting get close to me. Because I never considered having a friend, a true friend, as a lover. But it's kind of necessary. Go ahead, Mo, give me something.
No, I was just gonna agree with you, man. You know, you need to have that should be, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but a good criteria to have when you meet somebody you're thinking about staying with is, do you feel comfortable talking to them? Even if you're not comfortable, do you think you can get to that point where you are comfortable talking to them? Because I could tell you so many times how my wife, she saved me from doing something stupid. I can't even count the times on my fingers how she saved me from doing something stupid, because I told her about it and we had a conversation about it. And I'm like, girl, I'm so glad I talked to you. You've been through that, D?
Yeah. And that's where that friendship is so much more important. You know, like we said last week, as husbands, we have to learn to be friends. And you know, this is one more cosign, and I don't know any man who's been married that don't agree with this, as I learned. Sometimes we have to listen as a friend and not as a husband. We don't need to listen to fix a problem. We just need to listen as a friend and let them vent. That's a friend. Friends don't always fix your problem. They let you bitch, they let you cry, they let you scream, they let you tear up something that's not that expensive, and you feel better. Well, our partners need that.
Yeah, well, I'll just tell you, man, that's a until you meet somebody who's been in several relationships or who's been married, that's just a male, that's a problem with men. They always think they gotta come in with the wrench and the screwdriver and ready to fix something. A lot of women don't even want that. They just want you to listen, man. Let me get this out of me. Just listen to me. I made that mistake a lot of times. You know, I come in like, oh, let me fix this. Okay, what's wrong? All right, so this is what you gotta do. This is what you gotta do. Man, it may end up making things worse.
Yeah, but it's one of the things that we hear from other men usually, or women who have been in destructive relationships about what a man is or is not supposed to do. And that's why sometimes it's okay to listen to everybody, to gauge and get a lot of different information, which is, I tell you, I think I'm in 100 different groups, because sometimes that's all I want. I like hearing from people, especially when I make a post, from people who don't know me or trying to agree with me. I like to ask questions. Hell, I ask questions on my page and will not post what I think, because I don't want people to agree with me. I don't want you to know what I'm thinking. I just need to know what you're thinking and how would you address this situation. And then they'll answer you a little bit more freely, and then you can start making decisions, because you got all these people saying stuff, especially for the ones who like to go into detailed explanations. And we don't do a good job of telling boys why they should be more communicative in a positive way, why it's okay to let somebody know you're hurting, why it's okay to let somebody know that you're not well, why it's okay. Now, as Mo said earlier, discernment. You can't let everybody know. There are some people in your circle who are looking for your downfall, especially if you seem strong. They can't wait to tell somebody, see, I told y'all he wasn't as strong as y'all believe. This dude was crying all night about some chick. So he's soft as cotton. You can't just do it openly. So there is discernment, but it's the same thing with women. You know, you can't cry to everybody, because there's some people who are waiting for you to fall down. There's some people who secretly hate you and partially love you at the same time. They don't want to be you. They want to be better than you, and they don't care how they take you down. And this is what we miss sometimes with discernment, because we think we got somebody on our team, and they are on the team. They just not for the team win. They want to be the MVP. They don't want, and it's easy for sports people. There's always one guy who want to be the MVP. He don't care if y'all win or lose. He just want to score 30 points. I did my part. Well, you're not about the team, player. If you play a little defense and not gave up that last one, we would have won. Hey, man, y'all got to do something. What you got, sir?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, man, what you said is critical, because one thing I'll say about that is, a lot of people, when you're in a relationship, those other people, they haven't seen your wife naked. You've seen your wife naked. So
right.
likewise, when it comes to the dude, you're not going to see no guy's naked emotions. Your wife will see it, or your lady will see those naked emotions, but that's not for everybody else. So they don't need to know.
And that's why you gotta be careful with who you start making these decisions with. And unfortunately, you're gonna lose in the beginning because you don't know how to pick them out. It's what happens. We all lose. And I think men, more so than women, when we lose, we shut down a little bit harder and deeper because we got betrayed once. We don't take into consideration that women have men betrayed lots of times, and they still keep a hope alive. Guys don't, one of my favorite songs was, I know this for the old people, Bloodstone, Go On and Cry. The song says something to the effect of go on and cry, and it's from the mother, go on and cry, my son. I know you're hurt, because I think that men hurt harder and deeper than women. So we have to be more macho to cover it up, because we don't have vulnerability moments. When I did a show a few months ago, when a man is hurt, and again, I'm gonna use Mo because we cool. But if Mo called me crying, as a man, we don't typically know what to do when a friend calls us crying. Typically, we trying to find naked women. We trying to find alcohol. We don't have moments where we can just be compassionate with each other, because we don't know what to do when a man is crying. If a woman calls us crying, we know what to do. We'll let her cry. We'll soothe her. It's a human thing. Why can't we do the same thing for brothers? When women call each other crying, y'all get together, y'all have bonbon, y'all do whatever. Y'all watch crazy TV shows. Sex is not the first answer. But with most men, when a man sees his friend broken, sex is usually the first answer, because we don't know how to say, hey, what's up, brother? Did you talk to your woman about this? Did you try to do this? We haven't learned that at an early age. So we go through our 20s and 30s with our peers being more broken and chopped to bits, because a lot of us don't have a 50 or 60-year-old guy we can go to who we feel comfortable with being vulnerable or getting that from. I would say even the people who I looked up to, I never wanted them to see me broken. So I wouldn't go to them when I had real problems. I went there, I listened for the knowledge, but I didn't want them to see me broken, because I wanted to garner their respect, which was a bad decision, because they were there.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, we're comfortable going to another guy with anger. I'm gonna go break that fool, and talk it out that way. But when you need to have those softer emotions, it seems to be a different story, and that's something I think we got to get over, because those softer emotions can make you do just as crazy things as
regrettable shit.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean?
Shit, you end up having a Department of Corrections number for it.
Oh yeah.
And that's one of the things that, ladies, we need y'all to explain this to us too, because for most of us, you are our first teacher. You are the teacher that we trust the most. Sometimes, even if you don't know who to send us to, you need to let us know that it's okay to seek it out. Find out, a lady was telling me, she's like, yeah, I introduced some influential guys to my son, but he won't talk to him. Well, you can't tell him who he gonna like, but you can still keep him around guys who are influential, who are positive, and let him pick the one, because you can't pick who we're gonna gravitate to. It just don't work like that. We may or may not like your boyfriend, but we might like the maintenance man. We might like the football coach. Just make sure whoever it is we like has our best intention, has our best interest at heart. But start letting your boys know this. It's okay. If you don't want to talk to me, then go here. I got a call from a lady the other day. She said, my son really likes you. We was talking about you the other day. you know, he needs a mentor. His dad is this, you know, they had a whole thing. It's like, you know, we went to court and his dad never looked at him one time. And I was like, damn. But he started claiming that he wants visitation. But he said, she said, we sat in court for 4.5 hours. I guarantee you, he never looked at his son once. And we left court. She's like, you know, he was crying. He's like, why does this guy want to see me? He won't even look at me. When the judge banged the gavel, the guy got up and walked out. He didn't try to hug his son. He didn't try to wave at his son. He didn't try to give him his phone or nothing. And she's like, you know, we were talking about you. And, you know, she was like, you know, he looks up to you. I don't know why he look up to you, but he always talks about you. And she was like, you know, I don't know what your schedule is like, but is there any way you could find time to spend more time with him? If I have to give you some money for y'all to hang out, can you just find some time? You know, because he needs somebody to talk to. And he doesn't really want to talk to me because he knows I got so many things going on. And I was like, damn, you know, I got to respect that because as the older boy, we do tend to look out for our mothers more. But what I had to respect more than anything else was that she called me to let me know, to reach out for that help. And I was like, you know, that's a good thing. And I was like, you know, it would be great if you told him that it's okay to call me. Because he's called me a couple of times and it's been like really fluff conversations, but I never knew the backstory. You know, he had to call me and say, hey, you know, hey, Mr. D, what's going on? I just want you to listen, I'm doing this and this. You know, I check on him, but I never knew he needed a friend or somebody just to talk to until she gave me the backstory. And ladies, that's one of the things you got to do. If you see that your son is attached to somebody, get to know them, not physically, but get to know where they are and see if they may be a good mentor or provider for your son, because this is what we have to learn to do. We have to educate our boys into this. You know, like I said, we talked about Mo's group, which is built for that, but we have to start doing more grassroots stuff. This is that love that we have to start promoting in a positive manner. This is that love that goes beyond sex or the physical attraction. This is that love that will make us better as a people. And this is what we have to do. We have to expose this more. We have to talk about it freely. We have to not make it an uncomfortable conversation. It's okay for men to cry. It's okay. And you don't have to be in therapy to cry. You don't have to be at a funeral to cry. You really, truly don't even have to be in crisis. You just need to be, just be in touch with yourself. You know, I did my show on depression. Y'all know how much I hate talking about depression. Because the same thing always happens. I ain't finna talk about depression just so we get this straight. I'm gonna end up crying. I don't wanna cry because I got an image to uphold. You can't get rid of certain things. I will talk about it. I just prefer to do it in smaller groups now. But it's something that I learned that needs to be discussed. And it needs to be discussed by somebody like me, because everybody assumed that I had a great life. Everybody assumed that what could go wrong in the world of DVP? You know, he got a house, got a car, he got a wife, he got the kids. Everything is great in DVP world. It has nothing to do with my depression. You know, you don't know what Trina has to go through dealing with me. You don't know what I have to go through dealing with me. So I did a show about it because everybody's like, damn, I would have never guessed it. You can't guess who most depressed people are. Truly depressed people. You know, you'll see people pull out flyers or post all the time. I call them ASWs, attention-seeking whores, because it is a way to take advantage of women. Guys will do that. Guys will do that. Well, you know, I don't know if most see it, but you see these guys all the time making posts about, yeah, I can't get a woman because everybody thinks I'm ugly, yada, yada, yada. I've never seen one of those posts that I take serious. They're attention-seeking whores. Now you want people to come on and tell you, oh, you're a great guy, oh, you this. I'm thinking, one, you ugly. Two, why are you tripping? Why would you put that shit on Facebook? You want your inbox to blow up. You know, don't fall for certain tricks. And it's like, oh, he could be serious. Yeah, he could be. But why would you put on that, oh, I'm ugly, I can't get a woman? See, that's an advertisement. And it's those kind of things that suck, because we become predatory, and predators learn what women are looking for. Women are nurturers. Antoinette, you put nurturing down. Women are nurturers. I don't get more involved in this, but yeah, when I was a predator, yeah, I knew what I needed to do to get women to feel sorry for me or get them to let their guard down so I could get in. You do certain things, you know, you learn how to get a tear to come up. You learn how to feign sadness so that they will come rub your back and open that door for you because they think you're a good dude. It's a role that they're playing, and it's hard to discern who's legitimate and who's not. But I've seen posts, and it agitates me every time I see somebody who, I ain't a professional, but I deem them to be an attention-seeking whore because the post reeks of not help me. The post reeks of give me some, make me feel better. Because why would I let random people know that I think I'm ugly and I'm 50-something? Oh, no woman wants me. So you telling me you're a 50-year-old virgin? No, I ain't a virgin. So if you ain't a virgin, then somebody wants you. So stop the madness. Who you calling vampires, Antoinette? But these are the things that as men and women, we have to learn to get the discernment out. We have to learn what love is. What does love look like? What does love feel like? How do you know when you're in love versus lust? How do you know what your love truly is until you've loved? You know, we had the pure love when we was 10, 11, 12. Then as we got older, it started becoming more and more tainted because there's nothing as pure as a baby's love. But when we're talking about whether it's familiar love or the type of love that the relationship love, how do you know what real love is? Well, help me out. Give me some thoughts on that. How do you know real love?
No, listen, that's a journey, man. You know, there's no simple answer to that question, especially when you know, look at, depends on your environment too. If you grow up, let's take the environment you grow up with, you know, your dad is 1/10, you know, participates 1/10 in your life, and your mom is just doing whatever needed to keep things together. You know, that kind of describes my background. You know, I really didn't get home training. I got beatings. Those kind of set boundaries, but I really didn't get home training. So I had to kind of figure it out and learn it on my own by just going through life and dealing with different experiences. It's one of the toughest roads, you know, and it's not a fun road. I don't recommend it for anybody, but you know, if there's somebody who can take the place of that kind of experience and just say, listen, this is why I do mentoring, man, because I could save people a lot of pain, man. I can say, listen, if you go that direction, here's what you can expect. If you do these things over here, here's what you can expect. Now the rest is on you. You get to decide, you know, but it's not, there's no one simple answer to that.
So let me ask you a question as a mentor, because this is one of my favorite things that I ain't gonna tell you what I feel about it yet. You've been married how long again?
Oh man, my wife couldn't see this, man. Cut that out.
Well, I'm sorry. You've been married more than a decade.
Yeah, yes.
Damn, you made me forget the question. If a young boy came up to you, 21, 22, and asked you, how would I know when I'm in love, sir?
Well,
that's my question today. Yeah.
That's my question. That's your question.
No, that's my question. How would I know? How would I know? Hey, Mr. Moore, I got this girl. I really like her. You know, she make my heart beat faster. I start sweat when I'm around her. I think I'm in love. What do you think?
So my response would be, there's a couple of components that you need to really think about. If you're looking at love, there's a couple of components you need to think about. Obviously, there's the feelings, right? We all come with that. You know, the feelings come in.
Right.
Look, young man, if you got certain feelings or if you feel a certain way when you're around her, you know, that could be an indication that you might be in love. But then the other part is, I call it preparation. Have you prepared for love? You know, what have you done, man? You know, love is not free, man. You got to make sure you put things in place and in perspective. And, you know, so you plan on going to school, young man? Yes, I do. What, 4-year college, 3-year college? Where you going?
I'm going to tech school to be a plumber. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm going to text with a Bill Plumber.
Oh man, listen, you ain't in love, young man. You're not in love, man. No, but there's different components to that. I would just tell them, think about it's more than just a feeling. It's more, love is just more than just a feeling. It's like, are you prepared to be in love? Like, do you know what responsibilities come along with that? You got to really think about that.
And I like that, because see, now you made me think. Love is a plan. Love is a plan, because when you're in love, you start thinking about the future. You start planning for the future. You get beyond all this stuff, because now you think about, I want us to have a nice place to stay. So, and I like what you just said, because you got me to thinking. So yeah, when I realized I was in love with Trina, I started plotting for her to move down here. I started making plans for us to be together before I even told her what was going on. And I like that response. But here's my question. I had to write it down. You've been married more than a decade. Does love hurt?
Hell yeah.
So why do people say love shouldn't hurt? And it's like, that has got to be one of the dumbest all-time statements in the history of histories. Love hurts. Love hurts like hell.
If you really invest in your full feeling spectrum in your relationship, you should feel all of that. Happiness, sadness, pain, everything.
Love causes the worst pain.
Yeah, it does.
No, and not physical violence, but when people say it, it's like, a man who loves you will never break your heart. Well, a man you don't love can never break your heart. A woman that you don't love cannot break your heart. Somebody who you love can break your heart. Somebody who you love has the power, because it happens that we let each other down. Mo can't sit here. Roy can't sit here. Darren can't sit here. Antoinette can't sit there and say that whoever they love never did anything wrong or emotionally hurtful to them. Intent does not matter. Did it hurt you? Did it break you? Yes, this only comes from people you love. People you don't give a shit about don't have this power. And when people say love don't hurt, I'm like, who the fuck were you loving?
Where you grow up?
Who the fuck were you loving? Love hurts, which is why in my mind, a lot of men don't want to do it. It hurts. It breaks you to your core. It breaks you to your core. Love will have a broken heart will have a man so disenfranchised, he will go to work, come home, go to work, come home, maybe eat, gonna poop every day, but he will block everything out and become so much in tunnel vision because he does not want that pain again. Women, I love the shit out of y'all, because y'all will go through that pain again. It may take y'all 6 months, but men will shut down. Did you say something, Roy? Yeah, but men will shut down from a broken heart. We will shut out the whole entire world. We will sit in an apartment building that is burning because we don't even feel the heat, because our broken heart and the hurt from that love, we don't feel nothing. We're zombies. But every time I hear people say, oh, love shouldn't hurt. Well, unfortunately, you don't discernment, as Mo said, you don't really know you truly in love until you feel that. And it's a physical pain that you feel, not violence. I'm with you, Antoinette, not violence, but there's a physical pain from a broken heart or from when a loved one hurts you. It's a physical pain. It ain't like nothing else, because you're not hungry. You can't remember if you're breathing. You can't remember nothing. It's you just, and as we get older, we learn some of the ways we can get around it, but we can't say that somebody we love, wife, super duper girlfriend, didn't hurt us. And that's why you learn as you go through this journey that it happens sometimes. It doesn't happen intentionally, and you learn to work through this and fight through this. You gonna say something more?
I was just gonna say, man, yeah, and I just think that's why some of us men run away from it, man, because you don't want to even get in the arena with nothing that you love, because it's gonna make you feel those real emotions, and then once you feel that, and then you got your uncles in your other ear talking about, don't be soft, don't do this, don't do that, and then when you really feel that and it hits you, oh man, It's time to wake up.
Yeah, and you know, it's like, why do y'all keep saying this? You know, the love don't hurt and it don't never go to bed, man. Them two things that, you know, if I would burn, and I think anybody who says those out loud should spend 5 years in the penitentiary. Go to bed mad. Sometimes you need a good night's sleep to get over shit. Making me stay woke to talk about something, and I don't know if Moy ever tried to do this, but what's the worst thing you can do to somebody who need to go to sleep? Keep them woke and we're not going to bed until we resolve this. Lack of sleep makes you violent. Lack of sleep makes you violent. I'm sure most of us have went to bed with something on our mind, and a good night's sleep put us in a different place. And you know, I used to remember when people always said, "Oh no, you." If she mad and she want to go to sleep, let her go to sleep in the bed with you without a butcher knife. But let her go to sleep.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, man. The best thing you can do is bring the temperature down to where it's not resolved, but you bring the temperature down so you ain't gonna get stabbed up in your sleep, and she ain't gonna get beat up in her sleep. Bring the temperature down. Y'all go to sleep. Talk more about it the next day.
Yeah, because talking about it while you tired and sleepy is only gonna get you the name calling. And this is the other thing I disagree about. You know, people say, oh, when people get mad, they only say the truth. No, when you're upset, you will say things that you don't mean. You, especially to a loved one, you are trying to hurt them. And all you're saying, all of them ain't truth. Being drunk is something different. But when you get mad, especially when you know somebody, you know about their life and you know them, a lot of things that are said are meant to be hurtful. There's no truth to them. They just meant to hurt you though, because that's where you are at that point. Because when we feel attacked, what's the first thing we do? First we go on defensive, then we go on the offensive because we need the attack to come up. We need the attack to come up off us, and we don't care about collateral damage in the moment, which is why let people go to sleep. The collateral damage is wicked.
Yeah, or if you feel hurt, your first thing you want to do is make somebody else feel that pain. You know what I'm saying? You hurt, now you want to instill some hurt to somebody else, you know?
Yeah, because the person you love hurts you, your natural response is to hurt them back.
Yeah.
It's not the logical response, but it is the natural response. And sometimes you got to sit back and you have to wonder, where did that hurt come from? Did that hurt come from a place of intent, or was it something accidental? Were you just in a different place and you took it the wrong way? All of these things need to be slowly thought about. You can't think about them in a minute. They need to be slowly replay the situation. You know, there are times when things happen. You forget that something was prior to that, but the other person didn't. You pull the scab off a wound, and whew, and this is one of those things where we have to be less reactive in a destructive way.
And I'll just tell you, out of the married man's toolbox, the best thing you can use is a timeout. Trust me on that one. Just ask for a timeout, man, because like D said, you know, things are just gonna, sometimes things can just blow up and get worse. So just ask for a timeout. You come back, cooler heads, work on the problem.
And I know a lot of people didn't like it, but one of the things that I had learned was sometimes the best thing you can do is get you on them little egg timers for 3 minutes. Everybody write down their little issues. You write them down. And the reason writing can be so much more effective than talking sometimes is writing is unemotional. There is no animosity when you write. You can't put emphasis on certain words. You know what I'm saying? And when you write them down, you get the 3-minute timer. Somebody read the first one, you got 3 minutes to respond to it, and y'all go over it. But it takes the emotion. Well, you always do this. Write down specifically what your issues are. I'm gonna write down what mine are. We're gonna do one at a time, 3 minutes. And because I had to learn how to fight fair, because fighting fair will keep a relationship going. If you don't fight fair, it's just too many things that can go wrong. And learning how to fight fair is a process. But that 3-minute timer and paper, they work wonders because there is no emotion. It's just not there. You write your stuff down and you give it to her. Let her read it, because you will read it with sarcasm. You read hers and say, what I understand is this. And the thing, you know, again, I learned is don't invalidate how somebody else's feel, regardless as to what you meant. What you meant has no bearing on how I feel when you said it. So Mo can say, baby, I don't like the way that dress look. If she heard him say, I'm fat, there's nothing he can do to change how she felt. Mo can start saying, hey, that's not what I meant. I'm just saying I didn't like that dress. And Mo can explain why he didn't like it. And then come down with it. But if Mo starts saying, I didn't say you were fat, now y'all arguing over fat, not what caused everything. And that's why writing can be so therapeutic, because it teaches you to be a little bit clearer and less teary.
See, Mo smarter than that though. Mo would never do that. Mo would probably be like, baby, I think there's a stain on your dress. It's in the back. You might have to wear something else.
And see, and my favorite one is, I think you will look better in this dress. Because, right, we ain't finna tell, I ain't never been, See, and Trina has learned, if I don't like something, I will simply say, I won't pay for that. If I like it, I'm paying for it. But if I don't like it, I ain't saying, baby, if you like it, you get it. Exactly. But when I like it, I got it. Because sometimes they like things that we think, what, that's hideous. You look like you from Little House on the Prairie. But you know what, baby? You deserve to be comfortable. Even though you got weird taste in some shit, hey, you can only wear that in the house or outside without me. What you got, Mo?
Yeah, no, I was gonna, that's the point I was gonna make. It's like, you know, sometimes it ain't always for you. You know what I'm saying? They're getting it for them. And so when they go out with their ladies, or when they go out and do their thing, they can wear that. And you ain't got nothing to say.
You know, Trinity saying, why you hold on to them holy socks? Hey, them socks got memories. Leave my socks alone. I wear shoes when I wear them socks. So, you know, my mama just gave me a 18 pack of socks. I still ain't getting rid of my old socks. That's not gonna happen. When I'm cutting the grass, I'm not gonna wear my new socks. I'm not gonna wear no new socks to cut grass. To me, that is insane. That's what the old holy socks are for. See, ladies, that's how men think. We're not gonna wear good shit to cut grass. We're not gonna wear our good underwear to cut grass. The good underwear is when we going out. But the ones with the holes in them, with the waistband that you don't like no more, that you keep trying to use for a dust cloth, don't do that. They're my cutting grass underwear. If you want me to cut grass, leave my underwear alone. And you know, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, man, you identifying something that's critical in relationships, and it's the why. So a lot of times people don't know the why. See, your lady's just thinking, listen, you got these damn holy socks around. There ain't no reason to have those around. But see, you got a reason. And vice versa. She might have a reason where she does certain things. And if y'all haven't had those discussions to talk about them, then y'all both in the dark. You know what I mean? So the discussion and asking questions, critical.
And you know, like I said, and this is that part of getting to know you phase. There are certain comfort things that we have that make no sense to outsiders, that take us to a place of comfort, like as Antoinette said earlier, and we said earlier, where when I need a hug or when I need to just put my head in your lap, sometimes there are clothings or albums or something that take us back, that make us feel safe and secure, or they take us to a different place. And sometimes everybody needs them. You know, it's crazy. Like my comfort food is tuna fish. Give me some tuna fish and some Ritz crackers, and no matter what's going wrong in the world, while I'm eating those, my life is great. I don't need to smoke. I don't need to drink. Just give me some tuna fish and some crackers. That's all I want. My wife, it took her a minute to understand why tuna was so important to me. When, you know, hell, we had a fight because she wouldn't make me tuna one time, but she never understood what tuna meant to me. And she's like, well, you could make it. And you know, it took a minute for me to understand. It means more when somebody who I care about does it for me, because it means that they appreciate what I've done for them. So I've always been able to ask somebody, and it's crazy, y'all know tuna fish ain't that hard to make. I've never asked a random girlfriend to make me tuna fish, never even wanted it from them. I've only asked for tuna fish from my mother, her mother, and girls I was in serious relationships with. Never random chicks, never ever. Because it means something special to me. It's fucking tuna fish. It's tuna fish. But that's one of the things that you have to, as you're getting to know yourself, You have to understand what it means, the importance of it. Because, Mo, have you ever heard tuna fish being important to a guy in a relationship?
No.
And we all got our little things. And if a woman came to Mo and say, you know, my dude is tripping because I won't make him no tuna fish. If Mo was bad, that would have to get a chuckle out of him. He's like, tuna fish? Y'all really gonna break up over tuna fish? He's like, yeah, he said he gonna leave me because I won't make tuna fish. And initially be thinking, something wrong with that guy. Something is wrong with a guy who is willing to break up a relationship over tuna fish. But for this guy, it was a token of appreciation that meant more than flowers, more than a birthday card, more than anything else. Making tuna fish meant to me the ultimate act of appreciation. Tuna fish was like, it wasn't on par with sex, but you know, it was in the top 10. And you know, but that's one of the things where you have to know both parties and you have to understand and ask people sometimes, why is this so important to you? Because normally like I said, it don't mean nothing to Mo, don't mean nothing to Roy, but why is tuna fish so fucking important to DVP? And then once Mo talked to me and said, DVP, you really wouldn't lose Trent over tuna fish? Now, if he hear my story, I'm willing to bet you'll go back to Trent and say, Trent, just make the guy some tuna fish. Life will be so much better. Are you willing to lose a relationship over tuna fish? He just want to know you appreciate it. She'll say, well, I do this, this, and this. And again, do we know how to tell people what we truly want? Do we even know sometimes? But knowing what I told him now, what would you tell Trent about making tuna fish for me, Mo?
Oh man, I'll just say, listen, man, this is it might sound silly, but this is something that brings the man a lot of joy. You know, it's something you might want to consider and take seriously if you want to, you know, make him happy. That's probably all I would tell her, you know, and from there she can make her own decision on it.
Yeah, but you know, and that's why I tell people sometimes, even though we mean well, sometimes you can't even help a friend until you get to talk to both people. Because you can hear something that sounds totally ridiculous, but you're basing it on your life scenario. You're basing it on what your friend is telling you. And remember last week, I talked about there's the truth, a truth, and your truth. Sometimes you need the truth, not just your truth. Because your truth is still real, but it's not the truth. That tuna fish means more to this guy than you even know. Hell, it means more than I even know. And, you know, Antoinette, shit. Where does tuna fish fit on love languages? Acts of, does it fall under acts? Would that fall under acts of love, Mo, making tuna fish?
I believe so.
Right, but, and you know, it wasn't until I put deep thought into it that I realized how important it was to me. Because I can honestly say in hindsight, I was pretty fucking hot about her not making me no tuna fish. Because I don't ask for a lot. So when I ask for the tuna fish, she doesn't like the smell of tuna fish, which I guess I should be more considerate of. But for me, it meant that it gave it more validation. She don't really like tuna fish, but so if she makes for me, that puts me at a different level. If she truly loves me now, because she's willing to do what a lot of men do. Put your need above where I am. So I don't know if that even makes sense to y'all.
It does. But look, listen, this is key, man. A lot of people don't understand, man. It's really key because although it might sound like something foolish, this is something that any woman with DVP can use to keep him happy. You know, your lady knows this is something that keeps you happy. So she's probably gonna do it. Chances are she's gonna do it. And that's gonna motivate you to do something to keep her happy. And that's kind of how it is. You know, it's kind of a ping pong thing. That's kind of how it works. You know, you guys are looking for ways to keep each other happy. And it doesn't matter what it is. You know, a lot of people probably watching is like, tuna fish, that's dumb, this or that. But listen, that's not how you want to qualify. You want to qualify based on what that individual, how it makes the individual feel, what they want, you know, and what you're willing to do for them. You know, that's kind of keeps things together.
Right, and this is where communications is so important when we talking about love, and again, the initial conversation of the polls. We need to take polls in our own relationship of the person who matters most, because that poll is 100% correct. Poll your significant other and ask them questions. And, you know, one of the things I love to do that I found on a little questionnaire is there's a questionnaire for both couples, I mean, for both parties. And one of the first questions is, what is it I do that you like? And you'll be surprised at how different the answers are from husband to wife, because the wife can do something that is great for the husband, but she values it more than him. So when you ask each other, what is it I do that you like? And the answers are so wildly different. Oh, I thought you liked this. And one party does, just not as much as they like this. And so now you're learning from each other, because what you thought 10, 15, 20 years ago, things may have changed as we evolve, as we look for smaller things more. It's the little things, you know, I like when you do this. I was like, damn, who the fucking knew? Who knew? You like when I put my foot between your feet at night. Who knew? I would have never put that on my list. But that's one of the things. And this is where we have to do our own polls to figure out what is going on. What is it? Okay, what is it I like that you do? What is it that you do that you think I like? And you know, you sit there and you compare answers, and not only do you see their growth, you see your growth and how y'all are changing, but y'all not really keeping up because you get comfortable. And comfortable is a good place, but it's okay to do relationship polls with your partner. Go ahead, Mo.
No, I was just gonna say, man, it's good to have that catalog, because the one thing, like in my relationship, you know, I come from the gutter, man. I come from the bottom. And when it came to like going out to eat, you know, I go to these little ghetto shops, I go to little mom and pop shops, this and that. Well, my lady, she was when I met her, she had been exposed to the finer things in life, you know, steakhouses and things of that nature. I hated going to those places just because I felt like the people there were entitled. I didn't like the atmosphere, this and that. But, you know, eventually we came to a compromise where, you know, for example, if we're going to go out twice in a week, maybe we go to a spot that I like, we go to a spot that she likes. So the bottom line is you got to find out what works for you.
Yep. And it's okay to, sometimes you have to step out your comfort zone to see what makes other people happy, and you learn more. Sometimes you have to step out your comfort zone to realize you may actually like something that you didn't know you liked before. And you know why you didn't like it? It was the person that you were with. There are things that I didn't like with other girlfriends that I actually adore with Trina. And I would have, if you would have asked me, somebody would just ask me, well, do you like this? I'd be like, nope, nope, nope. But then me and Trina did it. I was like, well, damn, I just didn't like it with them. and that's one of the things, because sometimes we're so rigid in what we think we like, but you have to remember who you experienced it with. Did that person have any bearing on, and you may not even know initially, you know, and you know, it's like most of, you know, I'm a hood dude. You know, people was tripping about McDonald's and Burger King. Hey man, say what you want to. I like McDonald's. I don't give a damn if the food don't break down for 20 years. When I'm chewing it, it breaks down and it tastes good. I don't know how you eat processed food. Well, shit, for a while, that was all I had. So I learned to like it, and I still like it. So, hey, but you know, that's what you feel about it. So you ain't got to eat McDonald's if you don't like it. I want to go to Ruth Chris, that's a steakhouse, or Fogo de Chao, where they give you all this meat. So it's $75. I don't like no $75 meals. I just can't process that. Because I'm like, I could have got full off of $4.50. I ain't know this from past. $4.50, 75, you know, that's roughly, you know, 19 meals I done gave up for this one little thing. I can't, I'm gonna go because you want to go, but you know, whatever. But if that's what you came from, you can't understand my correlation. Because, and I'm gonna see if Mo can understand me on this. Having been poor, having truly been poor, there are some acts of kindness that I do truly relate to money. Because if I can be happy for $6.75, I understand why I'm paying $3,000. It just doesn't make sense to me. But if you ain't never been poor, then you don't understand $6.75 happiness. You don't understand how Mo being poor. Mo, do you have a favorite blanket?
Oh yeah. Oh,
See,
absolutely.
I'm thinking that's a poor people thing. Poor people love blankets because we couldn't always cut the heat on.
It was cold, yeah.
So what up, DJ? So we love blankets. But just cut the heat up. See, that's a luxury that we didn't all have. See, yeah. You know, and I got a thing. I'm gonna post one of these. I'm gonna post one of the heaters that most of us grew up with that would heat up the whole house. It would heat it to a level of hell. But our grandmama usually had that heater. Whoo, and the last thing you want to do was lay in front of that heater. You want to lay by it, but not in front of it. See, that was a real heater. They ain't got heaters like that no more. But that little heater, oh my God. That. But non-poor people don't know nothing about that. And you know, that's one of the things where when you're talking, and if it's your friend, you get to know them. And yeah, Internet says that's why I insist on no pay dates. I want to know if I like you. And I believe in financial limits on first dates because I want to know if you like me without me having to buy you. Mo, you seen the post where people talk about, you know, if you're not spending $300-400 on the first date, what?
That's dumb.
I'm not spending $50 on the first date. I don't know if I spend $300-400 in a relationship, ain't we supposed to progress? That means I'm spending. See, I don't even want to date a woman who can't eat fast food. Not that we got to go to Burger King the first date. Now, don't get it twisted. But as Roy said, you know, there's Applebee's 2 for $25. But I don't want money to be the issue of the first date. I don't want us to feel like that sex is an issue. But please believe, I don't care, ladies, brothers who spending $300-400 unless they got a Learjet, they looking for something after these $300-400 dates. But if we go somewhere to the bookstore and read a book, to the coffee shop and have coffee and talk, because I think the first date should be about getting to know each other. Money should not be the issue. But for $50, you can do a whole lot. A whole lot. I don't know how creative you ain't, but because you shouldn't be going nowhere that's loud. You shouldn't be going nowhere that's overpowering when you don't get a chance to talk to each other. Because we've been talking on the phone, supposedly, hopefully. We need to know if we like being close to each other. That's what the first date for is to me. How do I feel about you invading my space? Now that I get to smell your breath, now that I get to see your facial expressions when you're talking, are these things that I'm comfortable with? I'm finna spend $500 to find out I'm not? Hell no. Hell no. See how much did your husband's pay on his first date? How much did he pay? Mo, you remember your first date? I know it was 100 years ago, back when shit, you know, when they had $3-4 shit, but you know.
Damn, first date, man. Yeah, I don't know. I know I didn't spend a lot though, because my philosophy is aligned with yours. And it's like, first date is not about the money at all. You know what I mean? In fact, I expect to have a lot of conversation and a lot less eating on that first date. You know, we can meet at a coffee shop or something, just get a coffee and a Danish. And
right.
If we talk for hours, that's fine. That's a great date. That's a great date.
But definitely not concerts. Definitely not
right.
Movies. This needs to be somewhere we can converse without yelling.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm okay with going to somewhere to eat, you know, and, you know, if I'm being totally honest here, I spent more than that with Trina, but that was only because, well, for the date I didn't. For prep I did, but that's because I flew to New York. But we had been talking on the phone for probably 4 or 5 months. So we had progressed a lot because our situation was totally different. Because how many people talk for 4 or 5 months before they actually go on a physical date? You know, where had she been here, everything would have progressed a whole lot faster, which allowed me to vet her in a different way. Because when you live in different states, you don't have time to do nothing but talk and get to know each other. You don't have nothing but time. So a lot of the time we would have spent on a date making small talk. We did that over 4 or 5 months already.
Yeah, no doubt.
So yeah, my first date, if I count the plane fare and the hotel, yeah, I spent over $200. But if I take those out, we went and got some Chinese food. and she bought some Doritos and some Gatorade. So maybe $40 between the two of us, because that's all you really need. Because I mean, come on, you get a chance to sit and talk, do picnics. Picnics are cheap, and they show some thought.
Yeah. So look, if you change the scenario, and it's, you know, a lady taking a man out, ask the ladies, would you ever take a man to, say, a football game for the first date? It's gonna cost you some money, and y'all ain't gonna have much conversation. Not gonna be such a great first date. It's the same thing with these restaurants, you know?
And that's how I feel about movies, because for me, for me, a movie is a place, it's already dark. Do we hold hands? Can I put my arm around you? This is a first date. These ain't things we're supposed to be doing. So I put myself in that situation. I want to put it somewhere where we got a table between us, or we can sit side by side, but where we can focus on each other. Because now you can't, you know, over the phone, who ain't been on the phone and been making faces when other people talking, doing this? See, now we face to face. Am I keeping your interest? Are you keeping mine? Are you still full of fluff information? Are we still playing? Are we still dancing around? You know, I need that. And that's why, you know, I laugh at these people who talk about women love using dudes to eat for first dates. Well, had you been talking to her and not texting, you would have knew if she liked you or not. But if you keep asking her out to eat and she's hungry, then realistically, her answer should be yes. She'll go out to eat with you. That's what you offer, to take her out to eat. If you didn't find out till y'all were eating that she didn't like you, well, that's because you're stupid. Did you ask her? Did y'all talk, or did you just keep texting? Did you just keep texting and never fill her out? Because you should have had a conversation or two before the date. And then that would have told you where you wanted to go and eat. But if you thought that she might be using you for your food, then why are you going to some expensive ass restaurant? Why? Right, a Little League game is a great thing. Well, it depends. It depends. Who's playing in this Little League game? If it's your child, I would say no, because I don't want anybody to meet my child. I don't want anybody to meet my child initially until I know I like them. If it's just in general, maybe. You know, am I going to have to explain the game to them? Do they like sports? So during this conversation phase, we kind of need to figure out what the other person likes or don't like. Where's our common ground? You know, do I want to go bowling? You know, you got the issues with bowling because the competitiveness comes in. Well, if you took your wife bowling on a first date or any other woman, do you lose and look like a sucker, or do you win and look like you don't care about how she feels about you beating her? Because there's no winning in that one to me.
Yeah, that's we're not going there anyway. We're going to the boardwalk and watch the ships come in and talk.
And you know, now, again, if we having conversations and we both got athletic skills and we talking a little trash because that's what we building this on, of course, a competitive date is fun as long as you know that it's fun. You know, I met a woman who played basketball. We talked about basketball all the time. So we actually did play basketball. But we got a chance to sit down and you know, so I'm thinking, shit, what am I supposed to lose this woman? Because everybody said, oh, you can't beat on the first date. Well, hold on now. If I don't beat her, that means I ain't as good as her. I don't want this to start off with her thinking. So, you know, I actually asked her. I said, so what happened if I beat you? Are you gonna think bad of me? She's like, no, I'm gonna give you props. I said, what happened if you beat me? She said, oh, I'm talking much shit. I said, okay, so you know I'm a shit talker. She said, yeah. I said, so you know if I beat you, I'm gonna talk a lot of shit. She said, yeah, I know. So she let me know it was okay for us to have a fun date, even though it was gonna be competitive. I mean, we weren't sitting up throwing bowls at each other, but you know, that's one of them things that you have to worry about when you go on, you know, when you go on a competitive date. Because I heard guys say, "Oh man, I don't want to beat her in bowling." Well,
Internet says she ain't bowling with 3-inch nails, man. So
she ain't bowling.
You got to find something else to do.
Right, but I'm saying, you know, if that's the case, but you know, it's like, where is that line? Because you ain't supposed to beat her. But you know, and I tell people all the time. See, me and Mo can be out talking trash, and we can be at a basketball court just shooting for fun. The first time Mo say 2-0, it ain't a game no more. That's a competition. See, you can't say the score and think it's all in fun. Once you say a score, we competing. This ain't about us getting along no more. This is about who's the winner and who's not. And it's like, you know, But for me, I need that kind of woman in my life who is competitive, friendly, and fun. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's. I was just gonna say, man, that could be this could be something that the women can put in her playbook is that most men are competitive. So if you're gonna go do something where it's me against you or you against me or whatever, it should be established up front. This is just gonna be for fun. We just having a good time, because men are built that way. That's how we built. It just comes with the territory. And if you know that and you talk about that up front, it's no confusion.
And this is where you have to know you got to know them. And this is where the conversation comes in, though. Hell, I've seen people get into full-fledged couple arguments over spades game. You got to know, is your partner serious about spades, or is it a fun game? Because people don't play ha with spades. You know what I'm saying? Oh, did you just cut my book? Oh, you might as well get a hotel room when you hear that phrase. Did you just cut me? Oh, damn. So
yeah,
spades is life. Yeah, if she cuts me out, we got problems.
You know what I'm saying? You need to know. You need to know what kind of spades player you with. Spades ain't a game. Go fishing for fun. Spades ain't for fun, ladies and gentlemen. When you play spades, you better be about that life. You know what I'm saying? Or let your partner get another hard partner. But yeah, I've seen couples go through hell about. You'd have been better off cheating than cutting. Cheat, don't cut. She can forgive you for cheating. You cut her book, oh, you're gonna hear about that shit for the next 12 years. 12 years. And but again, that comes from the vetting process and talking to figure out what people, what truly is comfortable with people. I couldn't date some women because I was a cop. They were afraid that something would happen to me. So I understood that I wasn't gonna quit being a cop. But if you fear dating cops because I might get killed, then why would I intentionally put you through that? You will always have an issue with me going to work. Always. I know I can't take this relationship serious. And it's okay. I tell you, I met a really good looking woman who told me that she could only be serious with me if I shaved. I had to bid her a do it.
Got the beard.
Hey, she might have been the one. I will never know. And ain't looked back. But man, she said that shit with the most seriousness I've ever seen. She's like, I really like you. I think you are, but I don't date guys with facial hair. Okay.
Man, that's crazy. Okay.
But as me and Roy talked about a few years ago, everybody got their preferences and priorities. And from where we stand, your priorities are non-negotiable. I can understand a man saying he won't date a woman with this. That's a priority. I'm not dating a woman who no. I ain't that much love going on. If she got a little cute milk mustache, I'm okay with that. But if she need to shave on a regular basis, I can't do it. I can't do it. I just don't have that kind of look. You seen the post, she's everything you wanted except. Well, if there's an except, she can't be everything I wanted. Yeah, because especially if that exception stood out early, she can't be. She's everything you like in a woman, but she has a mustache. Well, see, that mustache means she couldn't have never got to the everything because I couldn't have got past that mustache. I can't. There are lots of things I can deal with. I can't get past a mustache sticking in mine. Preferences and priorities, we got them.
And even if you did compromise, it's not going to work. People don't compromise on what you're looking for because a lot of times it's not going to work anyway.
And that's one of the things you gotta, that in the process you learn about yourself, because I think at some point most of us compromise our values because we think either they'll change or something that we think is important to us ain't that important, which is why I tell people now, write down your preferences and priorities, put them on paper. Don't think you know them, put them on paper. If you have a priority and you're into somebody and they have something they don't have something that's on your priority, let's go and let them go now because you're only trying to fool yourself. But once you write them down and you can't blame them no more. Ladies, you can't keep saying you want an employed man, that's a priority, but you keep fucking unemployed dudes. Then it's a preference now. It's a preference. It ain't a priority. Well, he ain't had a job, and I met him, and you still kept messing with him. Well, I thought he was gonna get a job. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna tell you, man. You know, the lady with the little bit too much facial hair, man. Annette says you can get electrolysis, man, for that.
Listen, I used to work at a club, and there was this chef who had a crush on me. I thought she was cute, but I always just saw her in passing. And then one day I got a chance to just stand and talk to her. And I was like, damn, her beard is prettier than mine.
Can do it.
Can do it. Electrolysis wasn't gonna change what I saw, Antoinette. I saw this. It was never gonna leave my mind. Never. You couldn't convince me. Yeah, and I'm shallow. You couldn't convince me that if I kissed this woman, I touched her face, I wasn't gonna feel like I was kissing a man. I ain't about that life. I ain't about that life. I just, yeah. No. I ain't that good a person.
Yeah, so this where it comes to negotiables and non-negotiables.
Preferences and priorities, and you got to know them. If you write them down, they're easier to stick to. And what do we always say about people putting stuff? Hey, write down your affirmation, whatever. But if you're looking for something, put it on paper. When there's a disagreement, put it on paper. It makes it easier to talk. Even if you want to talk, read the paper. And this is why paper can be so much more important sometimes. It takes the emotions out of things when you can read or somebody else can read, because it takes the attitude out. When you're not sure what it is you're doing, you know, when you at a crosswords and you can't decide whether or not you want to keep somebody, and they're like, what do you think? I don't know, I ain't with them. I said, but this is what you can do. On a sheet of paper, put down the things that you like about them and the things you don't like, and then give them a weight value. That'll tell you your answer. If they're doing more things that you don't like or are non-negotiable, then why are you negotiating? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna add to that, man, because what you said was critical. The one critical thing is don't be too picky, because
yes, don't have a list of 66 things like Roy's friend had.
Yeah, and then also if some of them things have the possibility of changing, you know, that just keep that in mind, because we all change over time. You know, when the way I grew up, like I said, I used to go to the poor restaurants. I never wanted to go to the snooty upscale restaurants. So, you know, my wife would always want to go there. She wasn't my wife at the time, but she would always want to go there. And I'm like, I'm not built like that, man. Let's just go. We can go to McDonald's or something cheap, you know, whatever. But then eventually I just reevaluated that. And I said, okay, let me try something new. Turns out I started actually liking some of the places. So, you know, keep an open mind.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes we have to step out of our comfort zone, and sometimes we have to realize that ignorance is the reason we don't like a lot of things, because sometimes who you're with can change your total perspective on how you feel about certain things. If you're with somebody who you really care about, it ain't as bad as you thought it was. Now, if you don't like them, it's worse. But if you like them, it's like, damn, you know, I don't like people touching my feet. Never have, never will. I'll let Trina give me a foot massage. I won't let Wayne Lou do it because I don't like when she do it. But when Trina does it, I can relax. But I don't want nobody else touching my feet. Feet are meant for socks. They're not meant to be touched by hand. That's just my thing. So it's 7:58. So Mo, give us some parting shots and some words of wisdom, sir.
Oh man, I got a lot of those, but I guess I'll just stick with, listen, man, you know, you're talking about finding somebody that works for you. Just keep that in mind, man. Don't be, you know, get your list together for real. If you got to come down to you writing down what you're looking for, and make sure you stick to your guns, man. Don't start getting all flexible, because chances are it's probably not going to end up working anyway. Just come up with your list, man. Come up with your wants and the things that you don't want. Use those as a guideline. Find somebody you're looking for. It'll be much better for you. Trust me on that. You don't want to do this trial and error thing. Doesn't work.
What else you got? You got any books coming out?
No books coming out, but I am sending out free books for Christmas. Anybody want to read any of my books for Christmas, just go on Amazon. The first one is The Good, the Bad, and the Blue. It's about policing in America. and it's got some pretty good reviews. And the second one is called Perforated Fiber. That's actually an autobiography. I'll send them to you for free. Just contact me on Messenger, and I'll get them out to you before the holidays, so you have them then.
Don't get an autographed copy.
If I send them to you, they won't come to me first, but I can try to, for you, man, for you.
What kind of madness is that?
For DVP, I can get an autograph copy for DVP.
Yeah, I want an autograph copy so I can say, hey, look at who I know. I know famous people.
Of course, man. I got.
Okay, yeah. All right. Roy, you got anything before we get ready to call it a day?
Yes, sir. Let folks know to get ready soon. We are actually going to be doing a fundraiser for the network because we got some things that we're really trying to get into. And we want your support. We want your help. We're going to ask you for some, but we're going to give you some. We're going to give you multiple things in return. So y'all be on the lookout for that. You know, just trying to help us out. That's all we're going to talk about for right now. But be on the lookout for that the next couple of weeks.
We ain't doing this in the cold, are we? I just need to know. So I need to know whether or not my attorney need to call you.
You said we doing what?
Are we doing this in the cold?
Oh no, man. This is gonna be digital. You ain't got to.
Oh, okay. Okay, I just want, because I was gonna call AARP and complain. You know, old people can't be doing shit in the cold, and I feel like my name had already been tossed into the hat as working with you. So I just need to know if I need my attorney present.
No, we ain't going nowhere. Listen, like I said, we gonna ask you for some money, but we ain't going nowhere.
All right, so y'all know who I am. I'm DVP. I'm really thinking about changing the show to me and Mo. I need for y'all to inbox him and tell him he need to be on the show more. Because I want to take a vacation and I want him to just do his thing. Because Mo is a smart dude. Like I said, we met in a group, inboxed him, we started talking. And I like the brother's mentality, and I like the way he could not change my mind, but he could give me something to think about, to give me a different perspective, something I could add to my tool belt. And that's what I want more of you guys to do. Find people who not necessarily disagree with you, but they have a different thought process. Because I'm not a big fan of disagree to disagree, but find a different process that makes sense. Whether you agree with it or not, damn, that makes sense. I ain't never think of it like that. And expand your horizons, because you never know who you'll have a great conversation with and who is sharing knowledge with you. Or again, something that you never thought about. Pick them, embrace them. Whether you go to lunch with them or not, whether they local or not, but this is what we need to become a better group of people. The more options that you have, the better choices you can make. Because when you only got one choice, that always ain't a good choice. But when you got 20 choices, it's hard to make a bad choice. So don't be afraid to embrace new people. Don't be afraid to have hard conversations. Don't be afraid to have uncomfortable conversations with people who can do this. And don't be afraid to be told something you don't know. Sometimes you just don't know. And ignorance is not a state of being, it's a choice. We're gonna be doing some more things. Like I said, I'll take the blame for this, but I'm gonna blame Roy because that's what I'm supposed to do. We're gonna start doing more with the call-in line, so you guys can call in and ask questions, even though I like reading what you're saying. But sometimes y'all type and it comes in past the subject, and I'm not sure what it is what your question is. But we're gonna keep moving. I'm gonna keep inboxing and harassing Mo. And I want y'all to do the same thing to let him know that he needs to be seen on the show, because y'all tired of me. We need some different voices. Until Roy not be taking vacation that's been approved by the network and the network administrators, then that ain't just him. So I will see you guys. Oh, Roy, we taking off next week, yes?
Sure.
See, that sounded like a question mark too. There's a better chance than that we're gonna take off for Thanksgiving.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't even know. I keep forgetting it's Thanksgiving next week. I'll be working. I'm gonna work through the holidays because just to kind of throw it out there too, our urban and our gospel radio stations are actually back on the air 24 hours right now. So if people want to, get some music you want to check out, we'll be reaching out to people about resetting that as well going into the new year. We got a lot of new stuff happening, like I said. So.
Okay, well, hey, we may not be off next week. We'll see how random want to be, because I'm not a big Thanksgiving guy because I don't eat a lot. So, hey, we may do a show anyways just to talk trash about y'all. So, I guess you'll find out Thursday. But until then, like I said, I want to thank Mo for always, taking time out of his day to come and speak and help a brother out, because I appreciate him, even though I keep trying to get him to take the lead and he keep falling to the back. Like, I don't know why he keep doing that, but We'll fight about that off air. But I want to thank everybody for again for spending time with us and participating. So until next time, y'all know what it is. Peace, popcorn, and chicken grease, and we out.